All right, Brenton, welcome and congratulations on Son of a Gun. It's a great, entertaining thrill ride, action-packed.
Cool, thanks, James.
It's awesome. Have you had a chance to watch it with an audience yet?
I have. I watched it for the first time about a week ago with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So much different. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, talking about the action scenes in the film, there's some pretty amazing stuff in this, especially for an Australian film. Like, you got a helicopter bust out of a prison, which you're a key part of. Lots of car stunts. Did you get to do a lot of this stuff yourself? I mean, I imagine if you did, it would have been pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of stuff myself. However, I did have a great stunt guy.
Yeah, right.
Who took a lot of the blows for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did a lot of the swimming stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
when I get tackled down and I'm floating in the water, that was all me.
Right.
What else?
Chucking donuts in cars, get a bit of that action.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nash Edgerton got all the action in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did a
Right.
few, I mean, the getaway driving and stuff like that. Not too much. But
it must have been a thrill to actually be on a helicopter with guns.
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were doing the scene where I come down and I break the guys out of prison.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert, sorry guys.
We'll blip that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get in and we fly off, and we come back and reset for a take, drop the guys off, and
Mhm.
me and the pilot kind of set up and they load my gun
Mm-hmm.
full of blanks.
Yeah.
So I can't touch it. I'm kind of holding this thing nervously hanging out of the helicopter.
Yeah.
And we do a loop around the suburb, and the farmers in the farm are looking at me in the helicopter, and I'm kind of hanging out with my M16, kind of waving,
Yeah.
forgetting that I had an M16 in my hand. I thought, shit. These guys probably think,
Yeah.
there's terrorists in the area.
Exactly. Could have seen farms like diving into the dirt, seeking cover. Yeah.
No, it was okay. They probably knew.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was wild. That was crazy.
Yeah. Great. And how was it working with Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, it was fun.
Mm?
We had a lot of fun making this.
He seems like he'd be a pretty fun dude to make a movie with.
Yeah, we had a lot of great action together.
Mm-hmm.
We did a lot of the car stuff. He did a lot of his own stunts,
Mm-hmm.
and we were all kind of there with each other for a lot of the filming, and so we connected through that. We kind of formed a bond. All the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever catch him kind of like, when he didn't think anyone was looking, like making lightsaber noises in the corner?
Yeah, he does that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks around and he goes.
That's exactly what I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Now this is one thing I heard, you might be able to verify, is that Matt Nable, who's in it as well, who's got a bit of a background in boxing, that he invited some of the cast members to get in the ring for a bit of biffo.
Yeah.
Did you partake? I heard Ewan McGregor partook and may or may not have landed on his ass.
I was the guy that landed on his ass before Ewan did.
Oh, right. Right.
Matty just socks everyone. He's such a good boxer.
Yeah.
We had like a little fight club thing going on
Right.
in Kalgoorlie, and by fight club I mean a very tame fight
Right,
club
right,
where we just
right.
kind of trained. We did
Yeah.
boxing and ab work and stuff.
Yep.
And we had a UFC fighter on the cast too. Soa is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful guy,
Mhm.
and he would train us as well. And we would go rounds with each other, just doing body sparring and stuff.
Right.
And Maddie would always go for the kidneys. Man, we'd always be too slow,
Yeah.
go to the ground coughing and spluttering. But yeah, Ewan got socked pretty good.
Yeah, right. Was it because he was being a bit cheeky or
No, he wasn't. He just didn't have his
didn't have his
hands up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I imagine Matt would be the kind of person who'd be able to toy with you a little bit before, kind of like just.
Oh, he does. Yeah,
giving you a little.
And you don't want to get him because if you get him, you're going to get got.
Exactly.
So you kind of like, I have to just pretend to get him and can't get him too good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll just bash it. But he was good. He kind of taught us all how to box.
Yeah, right.
It was cool.
That's a nice skill to pick up on a film set.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about working with Julius? Was that a fun experience?
Yeah, it was good. He has a lot of guts,
Yeah.
Making this kind of film can be pretty scary. Making any kind of film for the first time, I can imagine, must be harrowing.
Yeah.
But to get Ewan McGregor and to get such a big budget and to be at the front of that must be very intimidating.
Yeah. For your first film as well.
For your first film, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's important to mention the people around Julius were very proficient.
Mm.
We had a very good first AD,
Yep.
Chris Webb, and Nigel, our DOP, was very good, and I think those guys looked after him as well as us, as much as the producer Tim White, who was very supportive. It was a very supportive team around Julius and around us. So I think it's fair to say that those guys are a key part in this becoming a success.
Certainly, yeah. And I actually interviewed Julius about this film earlier on, and he said that the roles of JR, which is your character, and Brendan, who's Ewan's character, were kind of based on a relationship that he had when he was a bit younger. Did he talk to you much about the real life basis for your characters? Or, yeah.
He did. He told us where it came from originally. However, I think it was more surreal than that. We had to find our own reasons for our actions. And so I kind of did a little bit of research and talking to people, and we had a guy who was auditioning for the film who had been to jail and offered his experiences and advice and knowledge of jail life. And so we kind of both just tapped into that, which was cool.
Right.
But yeah, that's originally where the story came from. So I guess it was important in some sense to find out why JR and Brendan, why that connection came to the screen.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. And to talk about some of your other film roles as well, you a few years ago you were doing things like Home and Away, and now you're in like some pretty massive Hollywood films. Like that's a pretty big leap. And how was it to be finding yourself, in Maleficent with next to Angelina Jolie, which I imagine is most guys' dream come true.
Oh, it was a dream come true. It really was a dream come true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really as surreal as you get an audition, you read the script, you put yourself on tape, much like this, and there's a reader, much like you're sitting there right now, and you go through your scene, you send it off, and you get a call back to LA, fly to LA, and then you get the job the next day. And then the next day you're flying to London. Like, it's so quick. It happens so quick. So you don't really have time to think about anything, It's more after the film's made, when it was released, I kind of, was in shock about how it was everywhere and how well it did. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Did you get to actually spend any time with Angelina offset? Did you get to kind of meet her?
No, it was mainly working. I mean, she worked so hard on that film. She produced it as well, and she was working every single day. And I just imagine how hard that must have been. I had no idea at the time, but now I understand how difficult that must be to wear all those hats, And so she was busy working,
Onto another one of your recent films, which is The Giver, which also stars Jeff Bridges. Now tell me, because I just have a fantasy that Jeff Bridges is exactly like the dude from The Big Lebowski offset. So did you guys kind of go bowling? Did you drink White Russians, smoke a few bongs? Like what was the offset activity?
No, we didn't do any of those things, but we did play a lot of music, dude style.
Right.
We did play a lot of dude style music.
Right.
Or more Crazy Heart style music.
Yep.
I like playing guitar, and he taught me some great songs, and that's kind of how we connected,
Yeah, right.
Through music and through photography. He's a great photographer.
Yes, yeah.
And so he taught me little tricks of the trade with my camera, and apart from that, we had a great time working together, and our characters almost mirrored our real life situation,
Yeah, great.
New to acting, want to learn as much as I can, and my character Jonas is new to everything and wants to learn as much as he can. So it was a nice parallel for us to have.
Yeah, great. And can you tell us about Gods of Egypt, which is another huge film you've got coming out with Gerard Butler? Do you guys, and he's such a buff dude, do you guys, is there lots of spotting each other on the weight bench offset? How's that all shaping up?
Oh no, I mean Gerard's in a different he's in a different zone to us. I mean, me and Nikolai would have bicep competitions on set. And ping pong competitions.
Right, okay, yep.
We're currently even.
Right.
Just to let Nikolai know.
Heated competition?
If he wants to verse me, then bring it on.
Right.
All you have to do is come back down to Australia and it's on.
Let's set the challenge, ping pong challenge 2014 with Nikolai.
Yeah, let's do it. We should do it.
Let's do it.
Maybe 2015.
2015.
There's not many months left.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Second
Nikolai
trip.
Costa-Waldau, I challenge you to a ping pong contest, my friend. He would accept, I'm sure. Those guys were great to work with, you know. Especially Nikolai, you know, we work together quite closely as our characters go on a big journey together. You know, he was very supportive of me, and we had a lot of fun on set. I mean, those kind of movies, I had a little bit of experience on Maleficent, but this, you know, the green, blue screen studio movies, they can be a lot of fun, and they can be quite daunting as well, because you don't really have anything to look at. You don't have the connection between, you know, two actors, or you don't have the reality of stepping into a jail and shooting in jail. So you've got to create that yourself, but that means you can kind of go as big as you want. You can do whatever you want in your mind, you know. And so Nikolai kind of taught me that.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Great. I think that's our time today, Brent.
Great,
so
man.
thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck with the film.
Cool, thanks.
Great. Thanks,
All right, man.
All right.
Take it easy.
Cheers.